Hi, my name is Susan. My name is Eunice.
My name is Wango.
Shiro Madenge.
Bagare. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment on our episodes.
Karibuni Mum Nation.
Hi guys, welcome to Mum Nation. We are so happy that you're back to watch us, and we are happy that we are also back. Does that make sense? No. Anyway, we want to introduce ourselves. You are
Wango.
You are
Susan.
Wait. You are
Eunice.
And we are happy to have our another guest on set. Yay! Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Mums Nation followers and everyone watching today. My name is Hadassa from Waiting Homes Trust, and I'm happy to be hanging out with Mum Nations today.
Yeah. So, if you watched our last episode on infertility, and if you have not, please go back to our playlist and look for it. We're continuing that conversation about infertility. And that is where we have our special guest, Hadassa. She's coming from Waiting Wombs Trust. And she's just going to tell us her story, her journey. And then, we'll just follow the conversation, basically. So, Karibu, Mum Nation Hadassa. We're so happy for you to be here. We are very, very honored to have you. Karibu sana. So, please tell us about your journey, your infertility journey.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate. My name is all clear, Hadassa, and the founder of Waiting Wombs Trust.
Yeah.
So my short story is I have been married for a number of years. I think now it's year 14. And over the period, we've been trying to have a child and we've not been able to. So it's not like voluntary childlessness, it is involuntarily childless. And my major battles have been endometriosis, adenomyosis, cysts, and fibroids. This gives you a chance to go and Google what those are. And so, very big ones. So after struggling to have a child for this long and knowing our African culture whereby every time you go up country, people are like, bad. I was really frustrated trying to look out for support, like who can I talk to? Yes, I know I have very supportive family. My sisters are great, my parents are great, and brothers, and even my in-laws are amazing. But there comes to a point in life where you want someone who actually understands your journey. So I went online on a search for anything like a support group locally, and I didn't get any. All available ones were in the US, UK, and all. And so having gone through that, I decided, why not then start something for people like me? So I actually went public on Facebook on International Women's Day that year. And I had a call to action after sharing my long story that went viral. Then I said, if you are in my shoes, come join this group that we are forming. And by the end of that day, we were about 100.
Wow.
And now we are thousands, and the rest is history. So here we are.
So your members are both the members of your group are in both Kenya, regional, international.
Yes, but 90% is Africa.
Yeah.
Out of that 90%, 90% is Kenya.
Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
But we are very closely knit community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have over 10,000 actually.
10,000.
10,000.
Members.
Wow.
10,000
Yeah.
closely knit members.
Very close.
Wow.
Like you touch one of them, you interfere with
10,000 people.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so you talked about involuntary infertility. What is that?
Not voluntary infertility, but
Childlessness.
childlessness.
Yes, sorry.
There are people who've decided they do not want kids for reasons known to them. You see, that is voluntary childlessness.
Yes.
Involuntary is whereby life happens. Endometriosis comes and interferes with maybe my tubes. Or there are people who have male infertility related issues like low sperm count and all. There are people who suffer from several other conditions. There are people who are actually born without wombs. They realize much later in life. Yes.
Born without womb.
Born without wombs, and maybe the vaginal opening is like the size of a child, maybe like a 2-year-old. And some of them realize much later in life. So you see, all that contributes to involuntary childlessness. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so at what point in your marriage did you realize that you have there's a problem with conceiving? Yeah.
I'd say 3 years into the marriage, because of course first year was honeymoon.
Yeah.
Second was honeymoon. Even now, I still say it's extended honeymoon.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not happening. So do I go crying forever? No.
No.
I'll just do me. We do us until when God says it's time.
Yeah.
According to His will. If it doesn't happen, He has a reason.
Exactly.
And it's okay. And so I think it was 3 years into the marriage when I had very painful cramps that sent me to the hospital. But I was also wondering, I've tried this style. Someone said, try the other one. And this thing is not happening. So I paused and said, maybe there is a problem. And the good thing is my husband is supportive and is open about these things. So as opposed to couples where it's always the woman is the problem, the woman is the problem. It is nice when you have men who support you and say, let's go see the doctor together. I will also be checked, Because honestly, the journey, infertility is not just a woman's issue. Men also are involved. So back to your question, it was about 3 years into the marriage. But then I didn't have all these many big termed conditions. I only had cysts and fibroids, which I still didn't understand. But now I think I really, really understand.
Now you understand.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. So tell us about Waiting Wombs Trust.
So Waiting Wombs Trust is an organization where we create awareness on matters in fertility and reproductive health. Because the reason I like including the reproductive health aspect is, I'm sure you have kids, yeah? And at some point, someone needs to watch. If they have painful cramps, you can tell them that is not normal, you see. So we actually incorporated reproductive health. But our bigger motto or vision is to have a world where childless couples or those dealing with infertility or subfertility are empowered, encouraged, like just supported instead of this crushing and stigmatization. There's a lot of stigmatization surrounding childlessness. So we are the voice of hope. We go out there, we create awareness, we remind everyone that you have your worth. You are enough. Our keyword, I think, is I am enough. We are enough with or without children. So that is who we are. We are the voice of hope when it comes to matters in fertility and childlessness.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're both, and you deal with couples. It's not just a ladies group, or it's just both men and women.
It is men and women, even though you'll realize that women are the most vocal. Like, I'm sure their fathers would like to be in Mom's Nation, but they're like, So we even have meetings where men come in. We have couples come in, but it's chini ya maji. They don't like. There are very few men who will talk about this, but we have men. Yeah. So it's ladies. I say ladies, gentlemen, and couples, because there are men who've been left because of this issue.
Yeah.
There are women who've been left because of the same, and there are couples working together. So we cater for men, women, and couples. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But when you said painful cramps is not normal, but I think majority of women generally have painful cramps. So we are all most of us are abnormal or something. Or describe the pain. What is the level of pain? Where do you draw the line? Because generally
There's no
cramps are painful. For most of us.
Do you know
women.
period pain is not supposed to be painful? I don't know why
pain.
it's not supposed.
all.
It's not supposed to be.
Like it's
painful.
supposed to be like a normal day.
It's supposed to be flawless. Like just the people who go to the bathroom, they're like, "Oh, I'm rolling." Oh, when that happened to me, I thought it was very weird because I've been used to pain myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to rub that in. You see, why it's important to have this conversation is, I feel that had I been helped earlier in life, maybe I wouldn't have gotten here. I wouldn't have suffered this much. Yes. Maybe in high school and all. Because it's all about, period pains. Don't worry, just take Panadol.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then the nurse will say, maybe you're pregnant and finya your stomach, period pains are not supposed to be painful. Periods
are not supposed to be painful.
not supposed to be painful. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So even
I didn't know that.
Oh.
My cramp, I thought it's normal.
Even me.
Oh my word. And then if you have endometriosis, you wouldn't sit like this saying that I'm cramping. No. It's different. Yes, I understand the pain is way out of this world. But period pain still is not normal. Regardless of the magnitude, it's not normal.
Do our doctors know that?
Yes.
Why don't they tell us that?
Our high school.
Our gynecologists do, but even me, my gynecologist has never told me it's not normal.
No.
In fact, he quickly prescribes for me a painkiller or something.
Strong one.
Yeah.
I'm actually very surprised.
Yeah.
I thought it's the amount of pain that differs within different conditions, but I actually thought you're supposed to be in pain.
No, it's not supposed to be painful. It's actually zero. It shouldn't be painful at all. So when you have that pain, have yourself checked. And maybe we'll also talk about diet and everything else.
Yes.
But yes, have yourself checked. It's supposed to be.
Maybe to take you back a little, when you said if you had known and you had been checked before, so what is it that you missed to find out, and how did that affect fertility?
Many things. That's a loaded question. I had pains in high school. And I remember every time I had my menses, the nurse would be called and then they'd check if I'm pregnant. And that time all I wanted was just sort out my pain. And then it was just Panadol extra, Panadol advanced, you keep advancing. And later when I was checked, my first doctor suggested that the fibroid could have started much earlier. So you see, had I known the things I know now, I feel like my quality of life would have been better. Because one thing that these conditions take away from you completely is quality of life. Before any interview, before any meeting, before any appointment, the first thing is, when are my periods? And then after that, if it's an interview, maybe on your periods day, you imagine I couldn't hack it. Like before I had this many treatments and help, I couldn't handle anything during my menses. I couldn't have been sitting here like this now. Yeah, so yeah, let's talk about these things. Like now we're creating awareness in schools, we're talking about this in churches, just to let awesome mothers like you guys know that it's not normal. It's not normal at all.
And also then, because that brings me to the question that I had in my mind is, okay, so do we then need to train our matrons and our nurses in schools about how to handle period pain? And it's not necessarily that because I have cramps that I'm pregnant. It's always that you're pregnant. And that is not necessarily the case. Yeah. So do you also maybe educate?
Awareness.
Or create awareness about medical personnel in schools?
Yes, we do. Now we do, and there are several other organizations we've partnered with that also really make noise on this. And then we also have something called period parties, when your daughter turns this month old. Before the and then when daughters.
People with daughters,
Maybe the son
Even
should
the
be
son
trained.
should be
So that
trained.
the son should be trained.
What happens at a period party? I like parties. And I like the name period party.
It's a party with pads.
So
it's basically
that's
just to introduce them to the whole menstruation and reproductive health, even sex talks are held. So they invite their friends. It's almost like a birthday party, but now it's a periods party. So it's almost like an initiation into womanhood. Let them know what to expect.
Before. So at what age?
But from any age from 8 is okay.
8?
Yes.
My
You don't know
goodness.
the people who have menses from 9.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. They're
Life
getting
has
them younger and
changed.
earlier and earlier.
which brings me to the question of diet. Is that a function of what people are eating? And I also know you treat you treat now your condition not necessarily with hormone based and whatever. I mean not with a non-hormone based
Approach.
a non-hormone based approach, yeah?
Non-hormonal.
Non-hormonal, non-hormone based. So you're not using medicine and you're not using stuff. So even when we say kids are rolling at 9, I think like it's an effect of all these processed things we eat. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's an effect of
Lifestyle
lifestyle change.
Exactly.
Yeah, because in shags I feel like they're not rolling early. They're still getting to 13. It's just that the urban centers is where a lot of people are, like, it's starting early. So now that you mentioned that, you had mentioned earlier that you're treating in non-medical ways.
I'd say not treating, but managing.
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 I'm trying to manage my condition because you see, maybe I should say that I've gone for 4 surgeries, like back to back. Then I've had endless. It's called HRT, hormonal replacement therapy. So hormonal replacement therapy is whereby I have jabs injected on my tummy, maybe for 6 months, and the effects are massive because at that point I'm literally going through menopause. Like now, I'd be sweaty. Yes, because what they do is to try and stop estrogen production. And the effects of that is, first of all, it's artificial menopause. So I've gone through that. At least I say I have an idea of what menopause is like. Then my bones have been the most affected because they really eat into your bones, and I'm actually getting better. It used to be bad. I lost my hair. There's just a lot of things.
Because of hormonal therapy.
Hormonal replacement therapy, some can be very, very
It's like you're a
strong.
walking hormone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And remember, it's done for like 6, mine was done for 6 months to try and stop your menstruation, which mine didn't even stop, but I still had to undergo through all that.
So to stop the menstruation so that you
Yes.
don't feel pain.
So that you don't feel pain, and they try to reduce, it says that they try to reduce the spread of endometriosis, which in some cases do not work, like mine. Then the other approaches I've had is, besides the surgery, the 4 surgeries, have been taking of some specific pills against prescribed by doctors, which is also a mess. Same thing, bones have issues. Then my hair, my nails were so weak. Then I got to a point, I actually had a meeting with myself because there's some things we are not taught in the hospital. I usually encourage everyone to try and do your own research. You see, it's your body, it's yours having issues. So if you can go that extra mile and just check out, most people say it doesn't work. But I said, have I tried it? I don't want to go with what everyone says. So currently, I'm eating very weird things. Let's just say that I'm off gluten, I'm off dairy, off oils, so many things, just to try and manage the condition. Then also, I work out like daily, just to try and keep fit, keep, myself in check, and just have the blood flowing and all. And it's almost, for me, it's almost like a phase-based approach. Just saying that I am so tired of these medicines. If I'm given one more, I'll lose it. You lose it. And I told my doctor, because my doctor checked out on me the other day and said, Hadassah, are you taking your pills? I told him, no, I'm not. I'm eating well. And he said, it's not going to help you. I've told you those herbal things. I told him, don't worry. I'm not taking those things. I'm just trying this. Because it gets to a point really you're way down and you're tired.
Yeah.
Because my bones feel better now.
Yeah,
You see,
stronger.
my hair is growing.
It's growing.
You have a better hairline.
My hairline is better. I don't have, you see, now I'm not all like, is there fun in this house?
Yeah.
That used to happen in July.
In July.
In July, I had to say that. Because there was a time I was at work and I was attending to this client before I went to self-employment. So I was fanning myself in July, and then he just went like, Madam, ni kushuta ama ni nini?
Like, what is it?
I was just like,
Because it's cold. Wow.
But now,
Is it working?
Yeah.
For
that's the
me,
question.
Yeah.
yes, I actually feel much better. The surgery helped, I have to admit.
Okay.
The surgery helped, and the big conditions I'm going to include again. Surgery helped with endometriosis, fibroids, and cysts. And you see why I'm saying it helped with that, because my uterus was attached to my tubes, to my rectum, to my what else? My ovaries. It's called a frozen pelvic, where everything is attached to everything because of endometriosis. And something else that I had is also adenomyosis, which now is not really dealt with during surgery. It's complicated. Most doctors say that the only solution is to remove the uterus. Who's ready for that? Not me. Yeah. So far I feel better. My quality of life has greatly improved. And my motto in life is take one day at a time. So that's where I am.
So now, just break down to us these huge terms: endometriosis.
First of all, the
And then
cyst, the cyst and the
start with the simpler
fibroid.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cyst and the fibroid.
Then we go to the two bigger
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
So let's agree that we get a doctor to come to examination.
Yes,
Yes, we will.
Attend to
But
that.
you,
Yeah,
in
but
your
you,
understanding,
in your understanding.
in your understanding and in your experience, what
In
are
my
those?
understanding, dear people,
For fellow mom.
they are complicated. Google is
Google
your
is
friend.
our friend. I agree.
I actually want you guys to go ahead and just do a bit of research.
More
It's
research.
very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yes,
is true.
very important.
So through all of this, what's your mental health like?
That's the difficult part. There are points in life where I was tired and I think I had just given up. I had to go for counseling and just talk to someone, because how could I explain having painful intercourse? How could I live with knowing that every month for about 3 weeks I'm hopeless? How do you live knowing that every time you go home there's someone waiting to give you some herbal medicine? So there was so much I was going through and I had to go for counseling. And it's normal. It's pretty normal to go for counseling. People shy away from that.
Yeah.
Say ati mimi sugu siwezi kuwa na issues guys.
It makes
You
me
know,
abnormal.
it makes you
Make you feel like
No.
something
Let's
is
go for therapy.
amamwenda.
yeah.
You're going for counseling.
Kwanza
No, counseling is good.
No, but it's very important.
Generally,
Very
that's
Generally.
important.
what
Even when
people
you're
think.
happy, just go talk to a therapist.
Yeah, and laugh.
It feels nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to someone.
Me, I'm a therapist advocate. Go to therapy for
Yeah.
anything and everything, if you can afford it. That is,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to get help, and also just having a support group where we talk about these things makes it way easier. The
That's
mean now
therapy
is
for
different.
guys now.
Yes. It's trust me, because in our support group we allow you to vent, we allow you to cry, to laugh, to say the small things like today my period was not painful, or today I stained all over. I walked staining, and we find a way of laughing about it sometimes, or crying with you. It's just basically support. So back to your question, I had to go for therapy, and I'm actually also taking a counseling course to just help others.
Okay.
Yes.
So this support group, is it virtual or it's like AA for guys going through infertility? Like you can meet and talk. Okay, now with COVID, I know things are different.
Yeah.
But before that,
Even with COVID, we've had meetings.
oh, okay,
Yeah, we
that's
just
great.
had social
As in this
distancing.
physical meeting.
Yes,
or to
yes.
know each. Oh, that's great. That's really great.
So we have like virtual meetings, quite a bit of them. We have the online support group runs full time. It's a closed group, but we also have public groups where we create awareness to the public. And then we also have annual conferences. Here we have people coming from Congo, Uganda, Ghana, Zimbabwe.
For waiting rooms.
Yes.
Wow.
So we actually have physical meetings, and we have chapters, like we have waiting rooms Uganda,
Yeah.
waiting rooms Zambia, and it's just support groups.
Wow.
Yeah, so we also have physical meetings.
Thank you for the
For
good
men
work
too.
you started.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Such good work.
Yeah, that's
Such
good work.
good work.
But socially, how has it affected you? Like, how do people treat you
Yeah, socially.
socially, and how would you like to be treated?
I think that's
Yeah.
a good question.
Initially, there are people who thought we went public for fame.
For fame.
Really?
In my mind, I was like, if only they knew. And of course, when we talk about stuff like that, there's that thing for, there are people who are going to DM my husband to probably give offers for, I can give a child. You know. Yeah, that happens. But God. So,
Shameless though.
The audacity.
such things happen. Like whether you speak, you don't speak, there are those people, they're actually friends, and there are others who have offers really. Initially, I was very careful careful because I'd walk and someone says, Unile Hadassah hana mtoto, unile Hadassah wa waiting homes.
In your hearing.
Yeah. See, when you learn msichana kwa FB hana mtoto, I'd be like, yeah, man, like, you're so mean. But now, really? Do I look like someone who can be crushed easily?
No.
I know my worth. I know God already. I couldn't have done any of these things without God. So I talk about God a lot. I know whom I have believed.
And you are enough.
I'm persuaded that I'm enough and God is able. So
Amen.
now I walk with my head really tall. There's nothing written on my forehead as Hadassah barren, Hadassah nini. All I see is a lady who's loved by God, who knows her self-worth, and I know God has a plan. So now socially, I'm cool. Empowering others. Yeah.
But I think you've also gotten more power from empowering others, especially socially.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, traditionally and African, there are things we don't talk about, and even if you escape them, they'll happen once a year. Christmas inakuja.
Yeah. We had to write a shahiri on Christmas. Like it's one of the most difficult periods for women battling with this. Christmas, Mother's Day, International Women's Day, some of them. Those special days.
Things for women.
Yeah, some of them can be really hard. I think Christmas was one of our toughest periods. And also sometimes, initially, baby dedications in church would be so hard because my husband is an elder. I'm proud in my church. I also had the women's club. I used to teach children. So sometimes the baby dedication would be so hard, but no one would know. We'd laugh and then go back home and like, we managed. Yes, tomorrow we try again.
Wow.
So
So
also
support
makes
is
a
very
world of a difference if you and your partner are working together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because there are many women who've been left because you're not giving me a child. We've not talked about this. You don't know where the problem is.
Then he goes to get a child.
Go.
Takes
Even
one of the
when-
offers.
Yeah,
The issues is the man.
The man.
There are cases
it's
where
true.
they look like how can an African man have issues with sperms? I'm going to try everywhere, and then maybe fall sick, then bring the disease back home. We support everyone who's gone through that. And then one of the cases I like pointing out is one of our members whose husband just came with a hot iron box and put it on her tummy.
What? So that
Reason,
what?
Ati, this stomach that won't give me a child. My mind, I'm like,
Really.
so if we talk about what people go through, honestly, it's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
But at least we're talking about this, and you guys can also be part of the conversation to change the narrative.
Yes, and that's why we'd have Mumnation, so that we are talking about things that are not. We just normalize talking about our issues, basically.
Yeah.
But in closing, what's the one thing you want everybody to know, or how do we as society support parents in waiting, or how do we support basically? What's that one thing what's your advice to everyone?
I'd say do not look at us like we are cursed. Just look at us as normal human beings going through medical conditions. And I like telling women this. It's okay to allow us to hold your children. There are so many cases where a waiting room tries holding a child. Hey, that one is cursed. Don't allow them. Yes, it happens on these streets, and mostly in church. In church is where actually your tummy will be rubbed. In church is where you go to church for solace.
Yes.
You go to church just to have a breather. But that is where you go, and there's a lot of stigmatization all over. So I ask that if we can just support each other. It's the way you can have your child and they're going through something. Maybe I also have an advice on, ukimfanya hivi. Most people will say, how do you know and you don't have children? That happens a lot. So, hey, we are people. We're complete. And sometimes we can help in any little way. So just treat us normally and normalize talking about these things. If there's any childless woman in your society or around you who you feel is looked down on, you can be that voice of hope. But don't worry us. We don't like that. But now after these guys will go like,
Self-pity.
no, I don't like that. we're just creating awareness. I'm just normal, a normal person, you know, at the end of the day. So let's normalize talking about this. Let us remind everyone that a marriage is complete with or without children. A woman is whole with or without children.
Yeah.
Motherhood or womanhood is not defined by the ability to have a pregnancy or to carry it to full term, because there are people who have battles that you have no idea of. So, yeah.
People with battles that
Wow.
we have no idea.
We have no idea. And actually, when you said this conversation of infertility, you know, you hear, I mean, you know of people who are going through infertility, just kijuju. But not this conversation that you've been having, it's made me appreciate the magnitude of what women who are going through infertility, what it actually means for them. Right? So thank you so much
And
for coming.
I want to add one more thing that I've forgotten. Maybe when supporting friends going through this, I'll speak for myself first. Initially, I couldn't say I'm battling with infertility. I'd rather say I have some fertility challenges. You see that on the positive side. Or saying that so-and-so, you know, is barren. It has some finality in it that makes it very uncomfortable. So we prefer, why we call waiting homes trust? Let me know I'm in a waiting period.
Yeah.
I'm not infertile or barren. I'm dealing with fertility issues.
Yeah.
It just makes it bearable. Yes.
When you're
But
looking
there's
at
no
the
need to label you.
Don't label us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But waiting homes is like an amazing. I feel that it's hopeful. I feel like it's doing what you're out to do, to be the voice of hope.
Thank you.
And thank you for being the voice of hope.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming to talk with us and to explain to us about what you do. So if you follow Hadassah and Waiting Wombs Trust on Facebook, on Twitter, you're also on IG. Yeah, but we'll also put the link on the bio. So if you have any question, if you want to reach out to Waiting Wombs Trust, we'll put the information. But thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next conversation. Bye.
Bye.